It's been a beautiful journey learning about my identity. When I was named, the elders told me, you're too young to know right now, but you're gonna learn what your name means. I was receiving my grandmother's name, Saweltanat. When I was starting out learning the language, I went to our hereditary chief, Salish, and I said, what does my name mean? He said, well, Tanat means the wife of, so you're Tanat of Sawalt. One of my teachers told me that a Sawalt is a spider web or a net. So it means the wife of the net.
We believe it was a gift from the Creator.
The Reefnet gives us life, it sustains us.
Such abundance for so many years, for millennia.
And they were run out at the point of a gun.
Lummi testified on the importance of the reef nets.
It was big business.
They appropriated any economy that the indigenous people had.
We must remember who we are and where we come from.
Because it is such a strong, important part of our history.
Okay. To the net wife, O ancient weaver, whose ancestral name I carry, how many hours of your life were spent gathering the wild-grown riches of our home? Willow roots and nettles for the reef net, the soft glow of mountainsides in winter, the sparkle of sun shining on summer rivers. This beauty wakes the ancestors inside me, calls forth memories of creeks overflowing with the red riches of spawning salmon. And I know your saltwater blood still runs in me, like a gift from salmon brought home from the dark of the ocean deep, carried high into rocky valleys against swift currents of sparkling streams, to dissolve and rise again like fog, burned away by the rising of a new day, to shine again in me. My eyes are your eyes, as one identity we see. Across thousands of generations we dance the dances of the salmon people, bear witness to endless turning tides and rolling waves. With your voice, I sing songs of praise. With the breath of your spirit, I lift prayers to the breeze. Like baby spiders with new silk kites, they soar high above the world and into the future. Like your prayers were carried across time to weave new webs, new nets, to catch nourishment for the people, to see hope, to speak love, to live to be an ember, a spark that carries our fire through the night.
The original people of the Salish Sea were saltwater people. They traveled by canoe. They had many gifts from the Creator. One of those gifts was the shwala, the reef net.
The way that it's set up is two canoes anchored side by side, and there's a false reef anchored below them. So when the salmon encounter the false reef, they swim up and into the net.
I think the most beautiful part of the old traditional reef nets were that there was purposely a hole in the back of the reef net. That was so, at any one given time, not every fish was caught. That's so important. You don't catch the first, you don't catch the last.
We lived amongst the natural law. We had to allow our older brothers to continue on their struggle of life up to the headwaters.
The belief is that the reef net is like a womb, and the salmon swimming in provide the spark of life to carry the people into a new season. That ties us to them in a spiritual way.
We are the first descendants of this homeland, and we know how to protect it.
Our spiritual journey with the Shwala is much more than we can share with you right here in front of this camera. But if you want to see what she looks like, we gifted 3 story poles at Papiawa Smaya, San Juan Island National Historical Park, for their centennial. You'll see our reef net captain, and you'll see the male and female salmon.
The captains up in the top of the reef net would be listening to the chants from the man on the beach who was guiding the salmon. And then as soon as they would see them jumping into the net, the captains would call out, and everyone that was in the canoe would be laying down so that they wouldn't be making noise or picking up on the teachings or protocols, because these people could have been family or they could have been from other tribes.
Reef net sites, they weren't bought and sold. They were actually handed down in families. So any one particular reef net site had always been run by the same family.
We're talking about the Reefnetters, plural, of the Salish Sea, a small subgroup of people who live within the vast variety of ethnicities of indigenous groups that live throughout. Only the Northern Straits speakers had reef nets, and that would be one Klallam tribe, the Beach or Bay Klallams, the Suk, the Sangi, the Saanich, and you get to Simiyamu, and you get to Lummi and Samish, and those are the Northern Straits speakers. Pre-contact, there would be 10 to hundreds of different families within each of those nationalities who all fished and harvested in their own ways, in their own sites.
Spirit of the Shwala was our economy, our way of life.
There would be such an abundance of wealth that every year, annually, one of the Northern Salish Straits-speaking tribes would host the other tribe. Each tribe would go home with the overabundance of wealth that was harvested from that season. They were connected through the reef net.
It's not one government, it's 2. 2 governments infringed upon kinship in the Salish Sea. Our relatives, our descendants on the other side of this imaginary border. How are we going to fix those historical events without any truth and reconciliation?
I never added up the years. 50, 60, 70 years not reef netting.
200 years is not a lot of time to do this much damage.
The handing down in families, that was all lost when that was taken away from us.